What up YouTube, and welcome back to another KVK video. This time we're facing off against K194 and the largest alliance there is SCS. Most of their members aren't actually in 194 though, so it's a fairly even match. Now unfortunately, just before I started recording, I jumped in and hit King's Landing in 299. They had a bunch of bow people there. One of them had seen me moving, so I wanted to jump in and hit them before they could warn to disband or watch out for me, and I forgot to stop my recording beforehand. But as you saw from that report there, it went pretty well. Now this is the new type of KVK, where being in a great city doesn't drop your bubble, so despite all the people that were coming out there, I couldn't chase them home to kill them. So I just go around and clear out the great cities. Most of them have only got 1,000 troops in them, holding them for the timers, but I decide they're not worth the hassle. And I learned that there's a bunch of them sat in King's Landing in 194, so I jump over there, and knowing their inf, I decide I'll rally it with Covya. But then as soon as the rally actually started, they all disbanded and ran away. And then probably the funniest incident of the day happens. Someone from 194 decides not to scout King's Landing and just to attack it. At which point someone from 299 decides, oh well, it must be empty then, and they send their march to catch them as soon as they land. Unfortunately for them, I killed both armies. We're all having a good laugh about it in the KVK chat afterwards. At this point I decide I'll disband King's Landing and go and attack troops that are in Sunspear. But because I was in a rush to do it, I decided A, I wouldn't rally it, and B, I forgot to look at it on potentially screen, so you'll just have to look at the report. But at this point most of them seemed to be pretty done and did not want to fight anymore. But then I got some reports of someone who is actually going around and hitting people and nodes, etc. So I disband King's Landing and I jump off to his location. Now my best bet is that he is just not paying any attention to his castle, because I jump in right next to him and he doesn't run away, he doesn't do anything about it. Instead he sends out another march to attack someone else, and it doesn't go well because he sends his lord with that march right as I'm about to attack him. And unfortunately for him, I get in before his lord gets home. And as a result, I get what is probably the best casualty ratio I've ever seen in terms of power. And then it was a case of just getting back into KL to tick up some points while waiting for anyone else to poke their heads out. But then I get reports that their inf players have jumped over and are holding KL in 299. So these are the same guys who disbanded earlier, so I only send Covya because I think, right, there's no way they're taking a rally and I'm pretty sure he can solo them. So I sent him in and I sold him, and I even remembered to record it from Potentially's perspective. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, the march doesn't show up and the tag doesn't even change. One of the mails you see popping up in the bottom right about us occupying Great City was about us occupying KL, but for whatever reason it just did not display properly on Potentially's screen. Then I saw this guy on bubble a couple hours before this point, but I figured he's just an alt, he's not going to have many troops, it's not even worth me hitting him, since that would mean dropping my own bubble. But then I get reports that someone else is out and about, so I decide, right, while I'm waiting on his location, I will attack this guy, get his lord, get some fervor, get some extra attack. So when I did get his location, he was way up north, so I teleported just outside of his vision range and then buffed up and hit him. I don't quite get everything in the first hit, and he manages to teleport away before I get my troops home again. But we did have a tracking rally on him, so I jump down to his new location and I get him again. And this time, thankfully, he is completely emptied out. And then that is it for most of the rest of the match. I get reports of this one guy who's going around and hitting people. He's fairly small, so I'd say it's definitely not worth moving to hit him. But it turns out that he's in range of us here at King's Landing, so I attack him with Covya and speed the army in. Now I don't know if he just already hidden his lord, or if he's the fastest blanker I've ever seen, because that march was in real time. That is how long it took from Covya sending the march to it landing. So I don't know if he was already blanked or what, but his lord was not home when I got there, and there was very few troops at home. But that was the last bit of action for this KVK. For the rest of it, I just sat in King's Landing, slowly accruing points, waiting for someone to come and say hello. We finished with just a little over 1 billion points, and Covya and Potentially were in first and second place. Thank you guys for watching this one. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of the new KVK type.